We think so often that there's all these external forces pulling at us, external pressures, all these demands of us. We don't realize a lot of times all the imbalance, all the lack of harmony is internal. I think if you make peace with yourself, you find that it's a lot easier to manage, to survive, to thrive in chaos. And so I think so often we're focused on, how do you do all this? How do I manage all this? There's too much being asked of me at any given time. Maybe you need to fix some internal dialogue here, and then you'll be better able to manage it all.
So this podcast has been a long time in the making, because to actually get one of your siblings on the show is not as easy as you might think. It's very hard. I don't think I'll ever get my brother on this show, but I finally have been able to get my baby sister on. So Shivani, thanks for taking time while we're here at our brother's event, actually. So this is going to be an episode that you guys are going to get to learn and hear more of probably things that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten to learn about Shivani, maybe even me. I don't know where this is going to go because we have not scripted or planned anything. But Shivani, what was it like, just for people to understand, growing up with Neil and I? Because we know it was like, or I know it was like growing up with you two, but what was it like growing up with us?
You guys are two larger than life personalities. And so for a lot of times I thought I was fighting for attention, but I wasn't. I was getting everyone's attention. I was lucky to have an amazing relationship with you. I had an amazing relationship with Neil. I got, I think, a lot of attention from mom and dad. And growing up, being the youngest, I have thought to myself so many times, I just wanted people to notice me and pay attention to me so I wasn't Arjun and Neil's little sister. And I realized I actually was getting tons of attention. But as I've gotten older and I've reflected on that more, I wanted to be taken seriously. And so I think that's what kind of influenced a lot of my personality and who I've grown up to be, is that I didn't just want attention. I wanted to be worthy of the attention. I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted people to know that I was a force,
okay,
not just a little sister.
And you said there that taken seriously, as opposed to saying, people looking at you and saying, oh, you're Neil and Arjun's sister, but no, you're Shivani and you're the real deal in and of your own right. I
correct people now when they're like, oh, you're Arjun's sister? I go, actually, Arjun's my brother.
Okay, you guys can already tell where this is going. We might be unlocking some things here, unpacking some things that haven't been discussed before. Now, people who don't know you and are listening to this, Shivani is the top producer at our mortgage bank nationally. I think 3 out of the last 5 years she's been number one. She's consistently outperforming and outclassing most of our industry nationwide. She also manages to do this with 3 children, with a dog that she's had some mixed feelings about having taken on or not taken on, and we can talk about that, and this may anger some dog lovers out there, while also looking after her family, trying to be the best supportive wife she can, daughter, because she lives very close to our mom and helps her out with so many things. But help me unpack how somebody manages to keep it together, or maybe you don't keep it together from time to time, and put up so much output while taking on so much and carrying so much?
I don't know. I don't know any other way to be. So many people have asked me that question, and I've come up with a whole framework and strategy for time mastery instead of time management. Yeah. And I've talked to people about how maybe it's not healthy how hard I push myself. But honestly, I don't know how to explain how I am this way, because I don't know how to be any other way. I know that I can enjoy moments of peace and stillness, and I feel worthy. It's not like I can't rest. And I know that I really enjoy being high performing and high functioning. There's 2 sides to the coin always. Sometimes it's lonely, being a high performer, being high functioning. But also I've been given a huge gift in life that I'm never really alone because of you and Neil. So I always have a safety net to take a risk. I always have a safety net to dress however I want. I always have a safety net to say whatever I want. Yeah. Because if someone's gonna get mad at me, one of you two will probably break their knees.
That's right. And there's a story there. I don't know if we're going to have time to get into it, but yes, it almost actually did happen.
So that's a luxury that I think it's an advantage, it's a privilege that has positioned me to feel safe, feel secure, feel empowered to do whatever I want.
Now, for moms out there who struggle with trying to do it all, I hate the word balance because we just know it doesn't exist. It's just, I hate that it even just almost rolled off the tip of my tongue, but I think it's because it's just been so overused. But how they try and find harmony and peace in their life, and sometimes it's so elusive and things are just so chaotic. What do you say to a mom or even a single dad out there that's taking things on, trying to build a career, trying to do more for their kids, show up, even manage to take 5 minutes for themselves, and they're actually ready to pull their hair out. What do you say to them?
We think so often that there's all these external forces pulling at us, external pressures, all these demands of us. We don't realize a lot of times all the imbalance, all the lack of harmony is internal. I think if you make peace with yourself, you find that it's a lot easier to manage, to survive, to thrive in chaos when you've accepted yourself. A lot of times we will take disappointment in ourselves and say, I didn't have time. Or we'll take disappointment in ourselves or not keeping our word to ourselves and say, it was because of XYZ that happened to me. But all of the dissonance is internal. And until you realize that, you keep fighting this battle. I spent the last year, as I was finishing my master's program, as I was trying to do all the things you very kindly introduced me with, and thinking, God, I pushed myself so hard. I'm having such a hard time. I don't spend enough time with my kids. I'm trying to do too many things. And then I realized I learned about this thing on TikTok, actually, not even in my master's program, called metacognition. And it's being aware of the way you think. And now I use that as a strategy. When my brain tries to tell me that I don't spend enough time with my kids, I don't accept that as a fact. I stop and I consider it. I think, why is my brain trying to tell me that right now? Is it true or is it false? Is it a narrative I'm trying to feed myself? Does it serve a purpose? And so I think so often we're focused on, how do you do all this? How do I manage all this? There's too much being asked of me at any given time. Maybe you need to fix some internal dialogue here, and then you'll be better able to manage it all.
Do you think that what you just described there is what's holding most people back from going from a place of so much on my plate, feeling so much unrealized potential, and that I could still go out and do, and it's been a dream of mine, but I'm stuck and either held down by guilt, saddled with my own guilt, cultural guilt, family guilt, whatever it might be, personal guilt? You think that's what really truly holds people back? Because what you unpacked is not an easy thing, although maybe to explain, but to actually do.
I think it can be a challenging experience to hold the mirror up to yourself like this.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yes, I think it's the main obstacle in almost everyone's way. And I also think that I haven't arrived at removing it, right? It'll show up again and again, and it's a continuous work to think about the way your thoughts are influencing your reality, the way your thoughts are creating your truth. And maybe you can step back a little bit and just observe why you might be doing that instead of just accepting those thoughts as facts right away.
Growing up, we saw both of our parents do a lot while trying to keep the whole family together, which it seems has been passed on to all three of us because we've like basically taken the torches and run with it. You know, trying to do a lot, still trying to be there, make it all work somehow, almost to like levels of breaking points, you know, emotionally and physically. We watched Dad do it. What was that experience like for you, being the youngest, of watching Mom and Dad do that? And how do you think you're kind of presenting to your kids now as you're like embodying it and doing it yourself?
So I think that they always spoke to us like adults. You know, they always had adult conversations with us. They always let us have a voice in things, and there was open dialogue all the time. And I don't think they were doing that intentionally. I think it was just part of the survival. But it allowed me to think, well, I can talk to grown-ups. I can have adult thoughts. I think that was why we don't struggle with imposter syndrome as much as a lot of people do. Because from the very beginning, we were part of the whole dynamic, of the whole system. We were players in the system, not just dragged along from point A to point B. I talk to my kids like adults a lot, and I don't even notice that I'm doing it. We slowly become our parents, whether we want to or not.
Oh man, yeah.
But I also try to be more conscious of like, let them just be in this moment and not worry so much about where they're going, what it means, what the consequences of everything are. Because the truth is, I'm in therapy to talk about Mom and Dad, and these kids will be in therapy to talk about me. It's inevitable.
Yes, they will, to be a fly on the wall. Your mission now is to empower a lot of, it has been for a long time, but you do a lot of work in this space. And if you don't follow Shivani, please do. All the notes and tags to do so will be in the show notes. But she has this incredible event called The Future is Female. What made you want to do this? Why do you continue doing it? Because you've done how many now?
9 or 10.
9 or 10, right? So you've clearly stuck with it. And it's not easy doing events. But there's a real core mission.
It's 11. It's 11.
It's 11 now, see? She's done so many, she forgot. What's the mission there, and why do you continue doing it?
I don't hate men. People think this a lot. I do not hate men. But
But.
yeah, there's a big but. So my version of feminism is that when women do well, their families do better, their partners do better. It's systemic. This is a marriage and family therapy approach to the world, which is what I just got my master's in. We don't believe that any problem, any person suffers in isolation. They're all part of a bigger system that's impacting in both directions. So I believe that when women do better, it's for the benefit of men, whether that be their children, the men they work with, the men they're married to.
Yes.
It benefits the entire community when women do better. And that's why I'm a feminist. I don't hate men, but I am just fascinated with women. Mm-hmm. Women are so dynamic, so capable. The biology. Women grow life, sustain life, further the entire race of humanity, while being able to navigate careers, while being able to have superior intuition and discernment. Women are just fascinating. And I'm sure there's many, many interesting men in the world. I've met a lot of them, but women are just more dynamic.
Right. No, and look, I think when people hear feminism, especially the way things get hijacked now, because everything is designed to trigger an emotion, and most of the time it's like not a good emotion. It's either rage or paranoia.
Because they confuse it with misandry.
Right.
Which is hating men.
Yes.
Or believing that women are better than men.
Right.
Personally, I think there's a lot of things that women are better than men at. There's a lot of things that men are better at than women.
Right.
Both are needed. Both are key components of the ecosystem. But women are just amazing and phenomenal and have not had enough of a moment to shine.
Right, and they're getting them. I mean, listen, there's people that argue it's not a woman's role yet. I categorically disagree with that. Right, like if you actually pay attention to how many positions of influence there are such key, incredible women in. I watch you, obviously, and everything that you've done, and how proud I am of you, and like in awe of like the impact you have and how inspiring it is. Obviously, my daughters have someone to look up to. Like, there's a lot of strong women in their lives. You being one of them. Right? And you have your own daughter, which is something you wanted more than anything, and then you got. What is your like vision or hope? Because your kids are all different. You've got your two sons, my nephews, who I love dearly, and you've got your daughter, who I also love. But what's your like wish or want for her being the baby, especially considering it's like the same dynamic you grew up with, like two older brothers and a baby?
I want to create a world for her and a sense of self within her that she has nothing to prove to anyone. Mm-hmm. I don't want her to grow up and hustle hard unless that's what she feels compelled to do. I don't want her to stay home because that's what's expected of her. I want her to have a voice inside that she can truly listen to, that allows her to be the truest version of herself.
Was there a moment during your childhood or even young adult life, adolescence, whatever, where there was like this key shift in setting you off on this road that you've been on now? Was there a key moment or a series of moments that you can recall?
There's so many little ones. Mm-hmm. I don't like to feel small, and I realized nobody can make me feel small. I can be as big as I allow myself to be in any room, in any conversation, in any opportunity. And so when I'd have these moments where I felt small, I'd find myself being mad at the circumstances. And then I realized I have full control over how I'm going to present in this moment. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to feel small ever. I want to feel big. I want to feel me.
Yeah.
So there was these little moments at different points, whether it be about money, whether it be about my career, whether it be about how much business I closed, whether it be social media or hosting events or doing anything. I don't want to feel small. And those moments when I'm like, I'm feeling small right now, I pay attention and I'm like, why? And what can I do about it?
Just that constant introspection and checking in with yourself, which is so key. That's you can skip a lot of late stage therapy sessions and money by doing what Shivani's talking about, even at the youngest of age. Okay, so people listening, young women and college athletes, there's a lot of females that are on this, that are part of this audience. You're talking about not being small, never wanting to be made to feel small, and if you ever are feeling small, like what it is you do to get out of it. Talk to somebody or tell them, and giving that advice to a young girl, maybe going through tough teenage years, tough college years, and giving them some hope about what's going to be on the other side of all this.
Oh, that's like, so I had the hardest time in school. Like in elementary school, I didn't make a good friend, which is tough. And then in middle school, I finally made good friends and was thriving. And then they built a new high school and we all got split up again. Mm-hmm. Then I get to high school and I don't have the same lunch as the only two friends I have. So I'm eating lunch by myself. As soon as I could drive, I started eating lunch alone. And then even though I joined every activity, I was captain of the dance team by my senior year, I was on student body, I was editor-in-chief of the newspaper, I did everything, I was so lonely because I didn't find my people until college. And then, so if you are in school right now and you haven't found your people yet, I will tell you, in college, if you find your people, that's the biggest blessing. That's the best time to find your people.
Yeah.
And it is so much more likely to happen in college because there's more diversity. There's more, the culture is more catering to letting everyone be themselves and then there's the forces of play in college will connect you with your people. And so if you haven't found your people yet, I don't hold it against you that it's lonely, that it sucks, that it feels isolating and it's shitty and it's heavy. It is. That's a very real feeling. College. It will happen in college and it will change your life because finding my people, joining my sorority, those are all the people that I'm still friends with, that I still hang out with. And it requires a ton of work. I mean, sometimes before we go on our annual girls trip, I'm like, I can't go. I've got so much work to do. I can't leave my kids. I already leave them too much for work travel. This is ridiculous. Everyone's going to make fun of me because I have to work on my computer half the time. And then I'll stop and I'll tell myself, it is a blessing that I have this friend group. And if I don't pour into the relationship, I won't get out of it. It's only fair for the joy this group gives me that I pay it into it too. And so it's work to nurture those relationships and keep them going. But as you know, in finding your friends, it's worth the sense of community, the feeling.
Yeah, and the more you, like you said, you get out of it what you put into it. And it's a gift. You know, it's hard, especially now in this digital age, for people to still connect on human levels. I feel like people are now, they constantly identify the problem in their life as they have fewer good friends because they don't actually make any effort to talk to them, you know?
Well, and you all the time think like, this person isn't showing up for me the way I want them to. This person let me down. This person didn't come to my event. And then you have to stop for a second and think like, do I show up in this relationship the way that I'm expecting them to?
Right.
Or has the slight hurts that have gone back and forth caused both of us to pour less and less in?
Yeah.
And then we're drifting apart. And then
Accountability.
we're lonely. And we don't realize how much as human beings we need connection from people.
There's something that's come up, you know, when we're at events like this, where people ask, you hear it all the time, I hear it all the time, especially when you, Neil, and I are around each other. Like, you know, what's it like growing up around each other? Or I've even been asked sometimes, like, are you ever envious of how such a big deal your brother and sister are? And I say, no, it doesn't even like, there's not a bone, like a fiber of envy in me. It's more like pride. It's real pride. Like I'm incredibly proud of them. Like their victory is our victory. And I think we all kind of feel that way about each other. You know, there's a long list of people, I can say this because we're in Vegas, you know, that have tried to get in between the three of us. And I say Vegas because there's a long trail of unmarked locations of bodies of those people who have tried. Like no one has succeeded. So I just always kind of caution people if they ever try to get dramatic or a little bit manipulative with any one of the three of us, like it's just a waste of your time and it won't end well because we're all actually each other's biggest cheerleaders. I'm incredibly proud to call both of these siblings mine. Like we were downstairs giving a testimonial video for Neil. We said, I hit the sibling jackpot, right? I had no idea because I was firstborn, but God is obviously great and, you know, blessed me with two of the best siblings you could ever end up with. And having a sister is something that teaches you about love in so many different ways. You love your brother, of course, you know, like you'll do anything for him, you're soldiers together, you get into trouble, but a sister and that kind of feminine energy is something that's a real gift if you're lucky enough to get it, or you get it in the form of a daughter. But I've been really lucky with my sister, beyond lucky. And it still is something because she holds me accountable all the time. She holds up the mirror to me. I try and do the same for her. Like, we're not just yes men to each other. So I want to thank my sister for that. What would you say, as I kind of land the plane here, this is something I ask almost every guest. What does LFG Energy mean to you?
That to me, the society was an embodiment of you and the way you make people feel. When people are with you, when people are with Arjun, they're somebody. And so then you created a society where we could do that for each other, where the greater good is my good, where lifting other people lifts me. And so the society became Arjun through all these soldiers of we rise together. We lift each other. We are greater, stronger together. But more importantly, when we walk away from each other, we're stronger alone because of the society.
And when I've asked this of a guest.
Wait, I didn't answer the question.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Let's fucking go.
Sorry.
Is not just a rocket, because a rocket is alone going. Let's fucking go, right? But the let's in that is so key. The let's is let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's all go. Let's bring each other and let's go as a group.
As a group. That's probably one of the better answers we've had on the show in the last 2 years. Would you say so, Hashim? Yeah, that's really good. Let's. And it is the whole idea of it. And people don't get this. The community itself literally came into existence 12 hours before I launched it or announced it, because Shivani and another good friend, Trevor, called me and said, what are you going to do tomorrow at your event? And I hadn't even given it any thought because I was so busy with the event. So you don't need to be ready sometimes or like fully prepared. You just have to be willing to kind of either bet on yourself, or because of the belief that others have in you, trust that intuition. And I did. And you know, that's what gave rise to the community, but more importantly, this podcast. So I love that answer. That's incredible. One other last question for you. Again, no right or wrong answer. All of us get to some stage, and I ask this of people who are contributing, who are trying to have an impact, and you're clearly one of those people. You're not just doing things, you're trying to create stuff. You're trying to make things better for others around you. We get to the end of our life. Maybe there's a lot of people at your funeral, maybe there's not. And I think that's not a bad thing, because that means you lived a really long life and everyone went before you. Whether there's 5 people, 50, 500, 5,000 people at your funeral, if there's one word you would want them to remember Shivani by, what would it be?
Entertaining.
Entertaining. Okay. All right. That's a good one. We haven't heard that one either on the show. She definitely is. If you know my sister, she can be entertaining in the best of ways and sometimes in the most challenging ways. I'll leave you guys with this note, because she doesn't know this because she was too small to know this, but she's always been a light for everyone that she's around. You see it with her children. You see it with our parents on how I was old enough to recognize this, how incredibly proud and happy they were to finally have a daughter, especially after having 2 animals in Neil and I first. And they really wanted a girl, and they finally got one, but it was a gift for all of us. We were traveling to India, and Shivani was only, I think, 5 months old, 4 or 5 months old. She'd just been born, but we would spend every summer in India. And my mom's father, our Nanaji, was really ill. He just was kind of blessed, but not blessed, with a really bad heart. And he had multiple heart attacks over years and years, but one of the most sincere, charismatic, handsome, loving guys. He was very, very ill when we got to India. Like, people were, a lot of our family were not even worried, or they were not too sure that he'd even make it. So there was a lot of fear, I remember, with my mom, because I was old enough to see this, and she was holding Shivani, because Shivani was basically just a few months old, about, you know, what's this going to be like? What kind of a house are we walking into? Mind you, we land in the middle of the night there because of just the way travel would be. We got to the house, there was a lot of people around his bed and sitting with him. I remember my mom just putting Shivani on the bed, because she knew, because the bright spot and all this, Shivani was the only granddaughter that our grandfather had up to that point, that he would actually come to know. He would pass before even having another granddaughter, but he wanted one so badly because he had nothing but boys in the family. And Shivani was just kind of propped up on the bed next to him, and he hadn't gotten up for days, apparently. This is what the rest of our family said. But he sat up because he was so overjoyed that he was meeting his granddaughter for the first time. And I never forget the look on his face. I could only see the back of Shivani's like kind of balding, patchy head, just like where you see a baby sitting up. But that's the effect she had on him in that moment. And that's the effect she's had on everybody in her life. She can make people sit up straight too. If you've been torched by her, and I have been many times, I don't wish it on anyone. But you will sit up straight. You will think more of yourself. It can kind of lift people from pretty bad spots. It did that day for our grandfather. He went on to live for, I think another 5 years, 4 or 5 years. But I have to think sometimes when I look back, I feel like that moment had something to do with it and giving him a little bit more fuel. So that's the note I want to end on in terms of the effect Shivani has. And if you know her, she's had a similar effect on you. So you'll never know how proud I am of you. I can't say it enough. And I love you very much, and I'm your biggest fan. Just know that all the time. So thanks for doing this with me today.
You always tell these stories about all these people in our family who've had such huge impact on us, and how many people we had to look up to. And sometimes I feel bad that I didn't notice all them because I was just so busy looking up to you. So thank you for sharing that story.
Thanks, Shivani. Love you.
I love you too.